The first time Elias Kane said the world was ending, nobody laughed. They just didn't listen. He said it quietly, standing at the back of the county zoning meeting. Hands folded like a man asking permission to exist. Outside, the refinery flared orange against the dusk, a metal sun that never set. Inside, the council president, Marcus Hale, tapped his pen and smiled the smile that meant the meeting was already over. Elias was the kind of man powerful people learn to look through. A night shift custodian at the courthouse. He scrubbed floors that reflected the shoes of men who never learned his name. He had a limp from a factory. Accident years earlier, an accident. That earned him a settlement that vanished. Into legal fees. Marcus Hale had signed the permits that put that factory there. Marcus Hale now ran the county like a private ledger. Red lines through neighborhoods, green lights for donors. When Elias spoke, he spoke with receipts. Air quality logs he'd copied after hours. Emails printed from public records. A timeline he'd drawn by hand, showing how sickness clustered around the refinery like a bruise. He believed the world was ending because his world already was. His wife had died of a rare cancer. His sister's boy wheezed through nights that never cooled. Elias believed in patterns, and patterns had taught him fear. Marcus leaned back. "Mr. Kane," he said, gentle as a sedative, "we appreciate civic engagement, but apocalyptic language doesn't help us make policy." The gavel fell. The room emptied. Elias stood there, papers trembling in his hands, watching men in tailored jackets file out to private dinners. He felt the old familiar weight. Being right and being powerless are not the same thing. In the months that followed, Elias became a rumor. The End Times janitor, they called him. Marcus joked about it on a local radio show. The host laughed. Donations spiked. The refinery announced an expansion. Elias stopped going to meetings. He stopped trying to be heard by people who made their living not listening. Instead, he started listening to scanners at night, to whispered conversations in hallways he polished until they shone, to the hum of servers in offices that locked their doors and trusted the floors to forget. That's when he heard about the sinkhole. It was supposed to be sealed, a byproduct of waste storage decades earlier. The files said it was capped. The emails said otherwise. Elias found a map folded. Inside a mislabeled binder and a set of photographs that showed the cap had been compromised. He learned that an inspection report had been altered. He learned the name of the consultant who altered it and who paid him. Marcus Hale. The end of the world, Elias realized, doesn't arrive with trumpets. It arrives with paperwork. He tried one last time to do it the right way. He sent everything to the state. Weeks passed. Then a letter arrived, thin and official, thanking him for his concern and closing the case. A stamp, a shrug in ink. On a cold morning, a child fell sick at the elementary school closest to the refinery. Then another. Sirens stitched the afternoon together. News vans arrived late and left early. Marcus stood at a podium and promised transparency. He used the word isolated like a shield. Elias watched from the back of the crowd, the way he always did. He felt the clock in his chest speed up. He believed the world was ending because the systems designed to stop it had already failed. That night, the power shifted. Elias didn't break into anything. He walked through doors he was paid to open. He didn't steal files. He copied them. He didn't threaten anyone. He set a schedule. At precisely 2:17 a.m., the county website published an update Elias had queued weeks earlier. Hidden in a routine maintenance patch no one had bothered to audit. It was a data dump, emails, invoices, inspection photos, timestamps, names, dates, amounts. At 2:19, a mirrored site went live. At 2:21, an anonymous tip hit 3 newsrooms and a federal inbox. By dawn, Marcus Hale's phone wouldn't stop vibrating. The story spread like heat. Reporters traced the altered reports back to the consultant. The consultant folded and named Marcus. The sinkhole footage aired on the evening news, pixelated but unmistakable. The elementary school closed. The refinery paused operations. Paused sounded temporary until the suits started leaving town. Marcus called a press conference and tried to own the narrative. He looked tired. He said the right words. Then a reporter asked about the timestamp on an email sent from Marcus's personal account. instructing a subordinate to fix the report. Marcus blinked. The room leaned forward. Elias watched at home, hands wrapped around a mug he didn't drink from. He didn't smile. He waited. The arrest came quietly. No sirens. No spectacle. Just a line item in a feed that used the word indicted, like it was always meant to be there. Marcus resigned before noon. The refinery's permits were suspended. A task force announced further investigation. For the first time, people said Elias Kane's name without laughing. Some called him a whistleblower. Others called him reckless. He didn't correct them. Justice, he knew, was not a feeling. It was a process, and processes could be reversed. Then the backlash began. Anonymous threats slid into his inbox. A car idled outside his building one night and then left. A man at the grocery store stared too long. Elias changed his routines. He believed the world was ending because when you pull a thread, the fabric pulls back. A week later, a reporter knocked on his door. She had a calm voice and a recorder she set down face up, like a promise. She asked him why he'd done it. Because the truth was buried, Elias said, and because burying it was killing people. The piece ran on Sunday. It called him an underdog. It said he'd been underestimated. It said power had misjudged him. It said justice had finally shown its face. Elias, read it twice. He folded the paper and put it away. He didn't frame it. That night, his phone buzzed with a message from a number he didn't recognize. Just a photo. Grainy. A new site. Fresh concrete. A location 10 miles from the refinery. Under it, one line. You missed one. Elias sat in the quiet and listened to the building breathe. He thought about patterns. He thought about paperwork. He thought about the way endings pretend to be over before they're done. Outside, the city hummed, unaware. Inside, Elias stood, already moving, because he had learned the hardest lesson of all. Justice isn't a moment, it's a pursuit. And somewhere, something else had been buried.